Hi. Hi, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me. It's now 9 o'clock on Monday, and we're starting to chat now. So, our subject tonight is suffering in silence. Now, this is really close and near dear to my heart because it took me years and years to figure out that I was suffering in silence and to figure out why and what was going on. It was totally a process. And let me just tell you, to begin the process, you have to really be awake. You have to be conscious and know that there's a problem, of course. So let me tell you what I was suffering in silence about, okay? And it's my low self-esteem. Yeah, that's right. I dealt with low self-esteem for years, okay? So let me tell you how it all began. I don't really think I really thought about having low self-esteem. It's just something that came natural to me, something that I felt like was a part of me and a part of who I was, basically. And so I'm going to start off with my testimony about it. I wrote Identity Crisis, Knowing Who You Are, in my book several years ago when I was pregnant with my daughter. I started writing it. So it's about 11 years now, and I actually pushed it out 4 years ago. But I did start writing it, and one of the first things to finding my identity, I had to realize what was going on inside of me. So I had to really confront my low self-esteem. So I explained this in the book, but I'm going to explain it now to you guys. I haven't read the book and probably is not going to read the book, but let me let you know what's going on. So basically, I traced this low self-esteem back to kindergarten. And it amazed me. It traced back to an early childhood memory where my mom was in a conference with my kindergarten teacher, and the teacher was saying to my mom, she just doesn't get it. She just doesn't get it. Speaking of me. And what they did not understand at the time, ladies, I really did get it. And what I got at that moment was I was stupid, I was dumb, I was slow, you know, and so that's what I felt at that moment. And so by me not getting it, what she was saying, I was sent to transitional kindergarten, which nowadays is really normal to have transitional kindergartens or early 5-year olds and things of that sort. But back then, I don't really think it was so normal. It was like a new thing that they were doing for kids that weren't ready to go to first grade, but it was new. It wasn't normal. So because it didn't happen to many people or many kids, I felt dumb. At that moment, I knew I was dumb, and I took on that identity that I was not smart. So that began my path to low self-esteem. Okay. So with that being said, I did go to transitional kindergarten, and all I would hear in my head is you flunked kindergarten, you flunked kindergarten. And so my academic career just after that just wasn't good at all because I had the thought that I was dumb and didn't understand things. I didn't try as hard, you know. I just allowed things to just happen, and I didn't take a hold of them and reach for the stars, as they said. I didn't reach for any stars because I didn't think I could. I was paralyzed. I felt like, you know, I couldn't do it, so why I tried doing it. So in that process of not even trying, you know what happened to me? What happened was because I didn't try, I missed a lot. I missed a lot of teaching, a lot of understanding I needed to know. So I started making that imagination, that thought in my head, a reality in my life. Okay, I thought I was dumb, but by me not listening and trying a lot, I was becoming, I don't want to say dumb, but I wasn't getting as educated as I needed to because I didn't even try, you know. And so my education went on, and you know, I wasn't a very good student. And since I missed the foundational things, the next step I would miss, the next step I would miss. So the more I would go on, the more I would be lost in school, grade after grade. But you know, I would just get passed. That's just, you know, the way it happened in my life. And so I was just had such a low self-esteem about that. And so throughout life, I just carried that with me. And I started pulling people towards me that I needed to create myself through them. Or how can I say this? I got friends. I learned what they liked and what they didn't like. And so as soon as I figured what they liked and didn't like, I didn't do those things and I did those things, if you know what I mean. I did what they liked and I didn't do what they didn't like, because I really didn't have a true self-awareness of who I was. I just imitated what they wanted and what they didn't want. And that's how I started gathering a group of friends. And I was always afraid of doing what they thought was not good, what they frowned upon. And I was always afraid of that. And so I just lived my life through others, and I would have such low self-esteem that I would kind of prepare people for me. I would say, "Oh, I'm just not, smart, or I just don't understand. I don't catch on this quick." I would prepare them for, my lack of knowledge. So I would tell them to have low expectations like I did. It was terrible. It was a terrible way to live, and I will never forget when I started pulling away and becoming my own person. I did lose certain friends, and certain friends didn't care for me anymore because I was truly becoming myself. And that really, really, really hurt me. But I realized at that point that that was, well, no, I didn't realize at that point. I'm not going to say that. But I realize now that that was okay that they pulled away. That was okay. They're no longer my friend because they, number one, they didn't know the true me. Number two, I was just being a pretender, a poser, and trying to be what they wanted to be me to be. So once I found the true me and I became who I needed to be, I started attracting people that truly love me for me, which is such a beautiful thing. I'm not going to cry, but it was such a beautiful thing to find people that appreciate you and love you for your good, your bad, and your ugly. You know what I'm saying? So those are my true friends now, and I do have a wonderful circle now. And for my friends that are listening or are going to listen to this recording, I just thank you for being my true friends, my true circle, because the people that fell off along the way, it's okay, because they just love the what do you want to say, the phony me, or the what I call it in my book, I call it, not the real identity. I'm trying to get the word that I use in the book. um it's the fake identity, the counterfeit. That's the word I'm looking for. They like the counterfeit me, which wasn't the real me. And once I started growing and started loving myself, I started figuring out who I truly was and started operating in it. So that is just part of my testimony. And I'm going to go back to a little bit more of my testimony, but that's the basis of it. The basis is I was so insecure about, per se, my smarts and my knowledge and my wisdom and my understanding of things, and just afraid that I did everything slow, and so that did stem from kindergarten. So that is my testimony, and I will add to it as we go along. But let's get to my notes now, because I do have quite a few, but I won't hold you super, super long. But this is called Suffering in Silence. And you know why you're suffering in silence? Because you are ashamed. It's just the truth. You're ashamed of who you are because you have a negative view of yourself. You're ashamed of yourself. So whether it be a negative view like I had of my mental capacity or my learning skills or my smarts, my, things like that, or maybe you're ashamed of your weight or how you look, there could be many things that you have low self-esteem about. But just know that you don't need to be ashamed. You need to be open. Okay? You have to be open in order to get rid of this. Okay? So I say when you open your mouth, you got power. Okay? God says that you overcome by your testimony. See, and what you're going to have is a beautiful testimony of getting, some self-esteem that is truly where you need to be, truly where God wants you to be. And so I have some questions for you. Are you uncomfortable in your own skin? Do you feel dumb? Do you feel stupid? Do you feel ugly? Do you feel worthless? Like, sometimes that everybody else is at a high level and you are down here and you're not worth much of anything. Do you feel that way? And if you do, it's okay to say that you do. It's okay to say that you do. It's okay to admit it. It's power in realizing where you're at and then expressing it and talking about it. There's power in your words, okay? There's power in your words. And words are just words when you don't use them in the correct way. Like, okay, like you can say, I am a victim, but I have became a survivor. You started as a victim, but then you became a survivor. And that's what we're all going to be. We have been a victim of low self-esteem. We have allowed it to come into our lives, but we're going to we're going to go surpass that. We're going to survive that. And we're all going to be survivors of what we once thought we were. We're going to survive that stigma that we allowed to come in our lives. The negative words into positive. And we're going to visualize it in our head, and we're going to begin to walk in it, and we're going to press and go on to where we need to be. So let me tell you that low self-esteem is a stronghold in your life. Did you know that? It's a stronghold. Let me read the scripture to you. It's from 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5. Okay, this is the scripture. It says, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of, and bringing into captivity every thought to obedience of Christ. So you have to cast down those imaginations, that stronghold. Okay, because a stronghold is an incorrect thinking pattern that has molded itself into your way, who you are. It's incorrect thinking. The stronghold is not the truth. It is an imagination. It is what you have created in your mind through people talking to you, through something you heard, through something you feel, but it is not true. So we're just going to cast it down, and that's where your words come in. They're powerful. You hear me? They're so powerful that you must open your mouth and use your words. You must speak against these things. You overcome by your testimony. Your testimony is that I am not stupid. I am not dumb. I am not ugly. I am not useless. And go and look up the opposite of all those things. And that's what you are. All the negative, look up the opposite and speak it into your life. That's what you have to do. And once you start speaking it, you start believing it, and your mindset starts changing. You are what you think you are, not what anybody else thinks you are. Let me tell you something. When I started speaking and decided to become a coach, I started thinking about all the criticism that people are going to have about me, all the negative things they're going to say, all the things they wouldn't agree with. If I said A, they would say B. If I said 2, they was going to say 3, and they will not agree with everything I say. And I had to think about the criticism I was going to get. Then I stopped. Nope. I thought about. Now, I want you to keep this with you, ladies, okay? I want you to keep connection. Keep that word connection in your head, because I form connections with people that God has given me to connect with. There's some of you under the sound of my voice right now that I am connecting with. And there's some of you under the sound of my voice that, okay, we really don't know what she's talking about, or whatever, it's general, whatever, and it's falling by the wayside. But I'm after those that I connect with. You get what I'm saying? So I don't worry about other people that have criticism about me. It's not for you. If you don't agree, it's not for you, or you're not ready for it. I'm in for it for you that I am connecting with right now. That's who I'm in this for. And I want you to remember that in whatever you endeavor, it's about your connection with that person. And God put you on this earth to connect with certain people, connect with your calling. The calling that's in you need to connect to others in order to be activated. So that's what you're put here to do. That calling inside of you, that talent, whatever God has given you, is multiple purposes inside of you. You need to connect on this natural realm. The spiritual and natural meet up, and it needs to be activated. So that's who I'm here for. It's who I connect with. So I don't worry about any of the criticism, because the people that I connect with, and that's who I'm here for. So you overcome by your words, okay? I took that negative thought and I turned it into positive. You have yourself to low self-esteem. Do you realize that? So when you subject yourself to low self-esteem, that means you brought yourself under to subjection of that. You brought yourself under control of that. You're under the jurisdiction of low self-esteem. That's where you're at. You have allowed yourself to be underneath that covering. Okay? So underneath that covering, the low self-esteem, you know what's there? It's doubt, it's worry, it's fear. That's all under your covering. That's what you are allowing to cover you with that low self-esteem. And so once you're under that covering, you allow it to stop you. You're just standing underneath that covering and you're holding for dear life. And you're allowing that to stop you from doing what you truly need to be doing. Because those negative things, you're sitting under that and you're taking it in and you're believing that. And it's totally stopping you, and you're being submissive to it. When it says, I can't do it, you're standing there, okay, I can't do it. I won't try to do it. I'm not going to do it. It's sitting here saying, you're ugly. You're like, oh no, they're looking at me. I'm ugly. I can't go here. I can't go there. Oh, I'll take whatever people give me. Oh, if they're mean to me, that's okay. I'm ugly. I'm abusing myself. That's the covering that you're under. That's what you're feeling. You're allowing it to flow in you, and you're saying, okay. I'm just going to let people treat me any kind of way because I don't feel good about myself. I don't love myself. So how can anybody else love me? If I don't love myself, how can anybody else love me? So you're standing underneath that. You're being subjective. You're being submissive to those thoughts. So you're allowing that to operate in your life. So because of that, you're attracting all different kind of people that wants to abuse you, and treat you any kind of way. Think about that. Think about the people that you're attracting in your life because of your low self-esteem. Think about that. Where did they come from? That's because way back when you allowed that low self-esteem to come into your life, way back then, the enemy seen that. And he said, oh yeah, I'm going to work every angle of that, right? He said that I'm going to work every angle of this situation. And as long as I see that as an opening for me, I'm going to use it over and over again. I'm going to send more and more people into her life. I'm going to let them talk to her. She's going to start talking to herself. She's going to start believing them. And that's why it feels like you're attracting such negative people that use and abuse you. And you get rid of one and here comes another. Get rid of another, here comes another. Because you have not changed your mindset. You're thinking about yourself. Because that's how you think about yourself. So you allow people to use you. You are the victim. And you are not the survivor at that point. But once you change your mindset, you become the survivor. Remember that. So you have given low self-esteem authority in your life. Yes. So because you have submitted yourself to it. And so authority to what? What kind of authority have you given low self-esteem? Let me tell you, to dictate your life. Ladies that you say, nobody runs me. Okay, if you're living under the umbrella of low self-esteem, that's what's running you. Yeah, it runs you. It runs you. It stops you from doing certain things and it makes you do certain things because you're carrying that around with you and you're allowing it to. So, you know, you have to take your power back. Okay? You have to speak up and loose the hold of it and loose your silence right now about low self-esteem in your life. Loose the silence. I'm calling right now for you guys to email me your testimonies. Okay? My website should be at the link at the bottom. You can go on my YouTube page and find my website. Get to my website, find my email, and just email me. Just let me know what you have done to overcome low self-esteem. Okay? Just let me know what you have done to overcome low self-esteem. Because you know what? In your testimony, you overcome through your testimony. You know that, right? And so when someone else hears your testimony, they may hear something that they need to in order to rip their hold on it, that stronghold fall to the ground. By hearing what you've been through, it may ring true in their ear. And they're like, oh, they'll have, I'm looking up my email address because it's kind of like quite a new email address. I want to make sure I give it to you, right? But it's a moment that they have when they connect with you. Remember that word, connection. They connect with you and they know that you understand where they have come from. Okay? They know that you understand where they're coming from, and they see that you have overcome. And so, therefore, they can overcome. And they see how you've done it, and they can use some of the steps you used, to overcome. So that's why it's so important to open up and tell me your testimony. I'm going to share it live, once I get, enough, I'll go through and I'll read them. And you're going to go to Latasha, Latasha, Life, Life, Coach, COACH at gmail.com. That's Latasha, Life Coach at gmail.com. I'm going to try to put the website on the bottom of this video eventually, but if you're originally looking for it and it's now on the bottom, that is my email address. So I want you to email me one by one, ladies, your testimony on how you're going to overcome, how you are overcoming, or how you already are overcoming. Because it's very strong for us to speak up. Our voice is so powerful. You hear? Positive things that you have to say and speak it out there. People's lives, words of power change people's lives. So you don't need to suffer in silence, because that's what the enemy wants, you to continue to be quiet and just eternalize it inside. See, when you're quiet, sitting there and you're thinking, and you already have the negative thoughts, right? And so more are coming, and it's expanding, and you're having daily things happen to you, daily events that may be negative, and you're just internalizing it, and you're thinking about it, and you're making it bigger and bigger in your mind. But remember, ladies, we're communicators. Once you start talking, like when you talk to a girlfriend, one of your friends, and you're venting, you're talking about some of your problems. The more you talk sometimes, the more you're like, okay, you start figuring out things. And just by you speaking it out and talking, you start sorting things out. And so that's the same thing when you start talking about what you're going through, what you have been through. Decide to share with someone can change their lives. By you speaking it, it takes some kind of power away from the enemy. Yeah, it takes his power away because you're speaking it and you're sharing it and you're letting other people know. And so that takes a burden off of you and that helps others as well. When you express yourself and you tell your story, it's power. And the way you overcome, somebody else can too. And so you have to work towards expelling the lie every day you have allowed yourself to believe. This is what you got to do to overcome low self-esteem. Thing that you are feeling like you can't do, you got to step out and do it. Okay, so I felt like I was stupid, dumb, and couldn't do anything. I still got up before people when I spoke. Yes, I did. I still wrote a book, even though it has misspelled words here and there, and I got it edited, and I still see some and I got so insecure about that, but I said, you know what? I'm going to share with the world because I'm not going to let my insecurities stop me from sharing in order for other people to start feeling insecure. You understand? By me expressing my insecurities, help others understand that they can overcome because I am overcoming. I'm being an open book about it. I'm not being ashamed about it. I'm not afraid that people are going to use it against me because I know that God has truly allowed me to overcome low self-esteem and I'm able to share with others because I want everyone as well to get where I am because there's certain things that don't get me anymore. They used to get me. Certain things that people say to me that don't bother me anymore. I remember being a young girl and I had a close friend and she was younger than me and she was really smart. And someone older than us, would pit us against each other and say, okay, spell this and spell this and spell that, have her spell, have me spell. And she was always better than me. She always had more knowledge, although she was younger. And this person that was pitting us against each other would be like this. She would go like this. You got to think. You got to know. So whenever somebody would do that to me when I got older, it would just make me clam up. And I would feel so ugly inside and so horrible, like, oh my gosh, you're not smart. I would think I had it written on my forehead, dumb or stupid. You feel like they know your insecurities. You feel like it's written all over you. But no, it's mainly in your mind and then you start expressing it in your actions. But it's not written all over you. But you feel that, what you think is more powerful than anything. So you just have to move forward and look at fear in the face, okay, and push until it's gone, okay? Let me tell you, fear is a stressing emotion. This is one of the most stressful emotions there is, and fear is put there to stress you out and to scare you. It's basically put there to stop you. Yeah. So whatever insecurities you have is because it's put there so you can't do those things that you're meant to do. Those things that got put within inside of you to do, you're not doing them because of your insecurities and your fear. And you don't want to remove the layers. You don't want healing sometimes because we're comfortable. Stay at the place we're at because we're comfortable. Even though we're in pain, we're feeling pain, but we still are comfortable in the pain. If that makes any sense. Sometimes you get used to being sick and tired. Sometimes you sit there and you waddle and it's comfortable for you. Although it is a bad situation, you just rather be there than uncharted territory because you're afraid to go. You're going to stay over here in this boat that you always got to patch up and, fix all the time rather than go on that big shiny boat over there because you don't know what's over there for you. You're afraid. You have the fear. It's paralyzing you. It's stopping you. So we must work through the fear. So working through the fear is doing whatever you're afraid of. Just do it. Whatever you're afraid of, work towards doing it. Work towards, I don't know what it is, but me, I was afraid of my language and stuttering and saying words incorrectly and saying past tense, I'm supposed to say present tense, whatever it may be. I was afraid of it. and afraid of how I looked when I got up before people, what they think about me, what I was wearing, because I don't, try to dress the best. I'm just me. So all these thoughts go through my head, all these insecurities. So there was nothing left for me to do this but just to do it. So I just did it. Ladies, I just did it because you're not going to overcome until you step in and just do it. Jump in, take that leap of faith that God has given you, because you all have faith. Just jump in and just do it, and do it progressively. Just keep doing it, and that insecurity is going to have to pass away. It's going to flow away. It's going to go. It's going to get out of here. It's going to disappear because you have conquered it by doing it. By the very thing that you were afraid of doing, you did it. And so there's nothing nobody else could tell you because you have seen it. It's manifested in your life. Manifested. Anyone can talk negative, you just got to do it. So first you have to speak. You have to speak up and say, okay, this is what's going on with me. I need to overcome this. And then you just have to work on it and just do all those fears that you have, all those insecurities you have, insecure about your weight. You have to just put a plan together and just, whatever you need to do in order to feel secure about yourself, just do it. Whatever the weight is keeping you from doing, just do it. Don't be afraid anymore. Don't let it hold you back. Not saying that you can't lose the way you shouldn't, but I'm just saying just because you have it don't mean you have to hold back on things you're meant to do in life. Not going to hold you back. No, it's not. So that's just one insecurity. It could be whatever you're thinking of in your mind right now that you have to work on. And that's how you can get rid of it, by just pushing through it and not being afraid, Look up the opposite of fear. Find that. Okay, so I bet that right where you need to be is on the other side of fear in order to accomplish your calling and what you need to do in life. Once you take your power back, speaking a whole new set of words, because you will have a different mindset. So you have to remember that sometimes it is a process, but you can't give up on yourself, because God created you to be wonderful, be awesome, be terrific in your own right. And He did not create you to be doubtful, worrying, upset, and angry about who you are. When He created you beautiful, He said He fearfully and wonderfully made you. So until you believe that about yourself, it doesn't matter what anybody else says, because I did talk about all the negative people in your life that you have magnetized, but I didn't talk about the positive people. There's positive people, I'm sure, in your life telling you positive stuff about yourself, but do you believe it? Maybe not. It doesn't matter what they say, it's about what you think. And that seed that was sown into your life that you allow it to grow and grow and grow. And it's so big that you think that's who you are. You think that false identity is who you are. No, I'm here to tell you that it's not who you are. You are not that, counterfeit. You are the real McCoy. In order to find the real McCoy, you have to pull off some things. Pull them off by revealing yourself. Reveal yourself, who you are and who you feel like you are, so then you can change. Okay? So suffering in silence, low self-esteem is not good. You must understand that God has a plan for you. And everything you went through, all this low self-esteem, is just supposed to be a block, so you wouldn't get through where you needed to go. But you need to remove the block by seeing that it's there, identifying it. I see you, low self-esteem. I know that you're there. I know why you are there. I know that you came from my childhood. I know that lots of people built on you and I allowed them to. I'm taking responsibility because I allowed them to sow that in my life, all those seeds of self-hatred. I allowed it to come in my life, but now I'm taking it off. I'm taking it off by doing the very things that the low self-esteem told me I couldn't do. And when people in my life that I love and trust say negative things and talk down to me, I'm going to redirect them or get rid of them. If I can't redirect them in a positive way and they so positive in my life, I have to downsize them in my life or get rid of them altogether, because I can now allow those things to overcome me and overtake me and keep me under the umbrella of low self-esteem. So, ladies, I just hope you understand. I enjoyed this live broadcasting, and I hope you understand that you can take power back from the enemy, and you can change your thoughts and teach others to change their actions towards you. Once your mindset changes, you will attract all kinds of positive people to your life. It's up to you to attract those people and to build your circle of support and love around you. So then you can, like I said before that I didn't understand, you can reach stars. There's no limit, because God is a God of abundance. So this is one of the first steps to doing what you need to do in life and to do your purpose, is to take back your identity and get your self-esteem where it needs to be, because you need that self-esteem to accomplish what you need to accomplish in God's kingdom. And if you didn't need it, then it wouldn't be taken away, right? No one would be trying to affect it. The enemy wouldn't be trying to affect it if you didn't need it. So I just hope I said something to encourage you. You can always go to my YouTube page and subscribe to my YouTube page. So then when I do live videos and you're not able to, view my videos live, you can still back up and watch them, and it will tell you automatically when I make new videos. And again, I do challenge you women to send me your emails about your victory and self-esteem, so I can read them and speak power to the other ladies, because your words are power. God gave those to you, and God wants you to speak out against negative things so the positive things can shine bright, because we are lights. And you need to step in and let your light be shined out in this world by your testimony. Someone needs to hear what you've been through. Someone needs to hear that you have overcome so they can. So just send me those testimonies. You can also go ahead and you can get my 7 days of encouragement, and that will encourage you in the 7 areas when I do live coaching. But I just want to do some motivating speaking tonight and give you some scriptures, and always mix. God is number one in my life, so he's always going to be in my speaking and in my coaching. And I always want to have a connection to whoever he's put before me. So tonight you are before me, and I hope that you connected with me, and I hope that you understand you don't need to live one more day in low self-esteem. You don't need to live one more day thinking negative thoughts about yourself and not being able to be set free. So you're set free by the things you do. That's just the thing. God has given you the key through faith and through works and through your voice. Your voice is powerful. Speak freedom to yourself and continue to walk and continue to work on yourself daily. And that is the key. Okay. I love you all. We're going to meet again on next Monday at 9 o'clock. I am thinking of doing a Facebook Live on Wednesday, so stay tuned for that, because I'm thinking about doing that. So then I'll be here on Mondays and then on Facebook Live on Wednesdays. So just look for me there, because God's giving me another topic to do, but I'm not going to announce it just yet because I'm not totally sure. I'm still praying on it. But I hope I said something to encourage you, something to set you free. And if you've seen this video and you feel like it's for somebody else, just share it, because if it wasn't a connection with you, it could be a connection with your sister next to you. Okay? I love you all, and take care. God bless.